Good afternoon. This is Lisa Parker with the MSU Alumni Office, and I am joined today by Trin Rose Seeley, class of 1993. I reached out to Trin Rose. You know, these are challenging times as we all adjust to protecting ourselves and our families from the COVID-19 virus, and as we are finding ourselves now at home. Trin Rose specializes in Alzheimer care, dementia care, and she is an author in that space. And I was lucky enough to encounter some of her writings several years ago, and she came right to the top of my mind as a resource for our fellow Spartan community who may find themselves now at home as the lead caregiver in a very stressful situation, very stressful circumstances. So Trin Rose, you are in sunny Arizona, and I'm here in gloomy mid-Michigan. How are things in Scottsdale and Phoenix?
Things are beautiful, and Lisa, it's really wonderful to get a chance to talk with you and any Spartan out there and all that they're doing. I picked a bouquet this morning. It's about 83 degrees here, so please take this bouquet into your world. It's mini carnations and a rose. It smells so good, heavenly. Yeah. And these are the kinds of things that can brighten your day, just right on your table, a bouquet of flowers. And may your spring continue to come there.
Yes, I think we are ready for spring. So, Trin Rose, first of all, thank you. You immediately responded to me when I reached out to you with a gracious, yes, I'm happy to have a conversation. When you think about individuals who are finding themselves at home as the lead caregiver of an individual, perhaps with Alzheimer's, perhaps with dementia, and maybe without their normal access to their support network, what are some of the top thoughts that come to your mind that these individuals may be dealing with right now?
It's a new world for a lot of people, and remember that we're all in the same boat, looking to find strategies that will keep us all well at home, and to only be able to go out if we are in desperate need. The world is ready to take care of us, but if we can take care of ourselves too, that's a wonderful bonus. There's a level of physical, mental, and emotional wellness that we're talking about here. And so a tip that I would say is important is to be able to tune in to yourself as a caregiver, tune in to the person you're caring for. And we can go even to the aspects of taking care of children or special needs, children or adults, or people with dementia or other aging needs at home. These pieces of information will help with all these kinds of categories of people. I grew up in Michigan as a young girl and went to Michigan State to get my elementary ed degree and a music degree. I almost got that minor, just one theory class away from that minor. But I now live in sunny Arizona, and I feel grateful to be in a warm climate. It's different when it's cold outside, when it's raining and snowing. It's important to feel like you're taking care of yourselves inside. And so tuning in means tuning into your own state of being. There's a lot of running around going on out there. People are trying to get things into their homes, and they're maybe feeling like I'm not being as productive as I usually am. And it's important to calm that down for ourselves and say, I'm doing the best I can right now in a new paradigm, a new way of looking at things. And if you've already been doing care at home, you're actually a bit ahead of the game. You know what it's like to be at home and kind of wishing you were out doing more activities, but you've probably already come up with some strategies to being at home and enlivening the environment for yourself and your loved ones. I have some specific ideas about that to share.
Yeah, I would like to hear some ideas, in particular for the individual that is maybe even sensing that these circumstances are not conducive at the moment to a happy and healthy home not only for their loved one who they're caring for, but for themselves. And we know that in those situations, that's when we can begin to experience strain and stress and maybe even anger and frustration. So what are some thoughts, what are some recommendations that you have on what people can do?
When you're stressed, it's important to take care of your own stress. As a full-time caregiver, when I did full-time care in care communities for people, it was important to take that bathroom break, lock the door, and just take a deep breath and say, okay, I'm gonna go out with new energy, but I need to just take my own deep breath, recenter. If you have intended to start a 5-minute meditation practice, this is the time to start. It only takes a few minutes to just take those deep breaths and realize that you're not alone in these challenges that we're all facing now. And also that your care for yourself is just as important as being able to care for somebody else. If you fill your own cup, your own reservoir of encouragement and love and energy, then you have it to give to somebody else. And to give yourself that break and not think you have to do it all perfectly all of a sudden. Everybody's doing this new chapter of things where they feel like, I'd feel better if I was out. I'd feel better if I was doing my work down the street like I usually do. Now's the time to recognize that just if you've woke up today, you're doing great. And just have that extra treat at breakfast and put on some classical music or put on some high energy music, whatever it is that you need and that your partner needs or the people that you're with. Try to just, as I say, tune in, and then also give yourself that centered peacefulness, and not feel like you have to do a ton of extra to be okay. Being okay means everyone's, having what they need food-wise, they're relaxed, they have a warm blanket, you're watching TV. Netflix is going to get us through this thing. Please give yourself that credit for restoring your environment in a gentle way.
I do think that's helpful to really give ourselves permission to lower some of these standards that we put upon ourselves and our need to react to and stay ahead of our concerns related to the shopping and running out of toilet paper and all of these things that we're seeing across the country. When you're talking about tuning in and knowing that we're going to be spending a lot of time at home and a lot of time with each other, for individuals that are in a caregiving environment, how can they find joy together in these times? How can they create some joy for those they love, for themselves individually, and how can they find some joy together that maybe is a unique opportunity right now?
Well, in my many years of caregiving, and I went from private care to care community homes to the Alzheimer's Association, and then to writing a caregiver book, and now teaching a class called Mindful Art that includes photos, songs, stories of life, and art. These are the kinds of things that I draw people back to. You can take care of yourself physically, you can take care of your mental state, and emotionally. The kinds of things that I've observed really make all the difference is that emotional key love and energy that you put behind your favorite, memories of photos of the trips you've taken, songs that make you both laugh and sing along or to relax, either way, energizing or relaxing music, depending on the need. And that's the tuning in part. And the stories of the kinds of adventures you've had in your life. They're not gone. They're still part of your world and part of your life. Just like anyone likes to reminisce. Wasn't that wonderful when we went to Florida that one time? Wasn't that wonderful when we went to Italy? these can become alive again in your environment right where you are. And frankly, in the kinds of environments where people live, where they're cold and snowing and raining, how nice it is to have a classical concert at home. You don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to park. You don't have to be out at midnight trying to get home from a long line of traffic. You turn on that music right there, right then, make some hors d'oeuvres for the table. And if you get wild, just dress up, put on your beautiful gown and start and enjoy a concert. Do some dancing right in your room. I mean, this is the kind of bring up your heartbeat. It's exercise. It's eating with joy. These are the things that we would do out in our environments. And now if we do them at home, they can be just as fun, if not more fun. When you have a partner who has dementia or cannot walk or cannot see, you've already spent time adapting your world to these needs, but keep having that joy. Remember and show those photos and play that music and tell those stories. In fact, you can even write them on an index card and put them right next to the morning cup of coffee. You are a gardener. You are a lawyer that has cared about people all your life. There's a woman I knew, you design bathing suits. Wow, thanks for doing that. Thanks for doing that for the world. You made people beautiful. And it brings those positive stories right back to the top. And you can decide if you want to schedule it. My book is called 15 Minutes of Fame. One photo does wonders to bring you both back to solid ground. So the approach encourages at least 15 minutes of this, and it might turn into hours, it might turn into days and weeks and months. But you decide if it's going to be at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or you decide if it's going to be in the middle of the morning or the middle of the afternoon. If your family member is up at midnight, well, you're going to have a midnight concert then. Try to adapt to that, to the frameworks that work for both of you.
I love those ideas. I mean, even just hearing you describe them made me think of things that I would want to do with my family, and I don't currently have an individual that I'm providing care to. You mentioned your book. You do have some resources that you would like Spartans to know about. Could you just give a quick overview of those resources?
I'm very proud to be a Spartan. It was the best education I could have gotten, and I've used it every day of my life. With elementary ed, I worked with young kids for music. I worked with elders with dementia. I've worked with special needs adults and typical friends and family at church camp playing music. And it all adds up to a lively, loving experience with people and raising the energy for everybody. So as I say, the name of the book is 15 Minutes of Fame. One photo does wonders to bring you both back to solid ground. It's an ebook. It's available on my website, which is caregiverheart.com. And I'm also would be eager to offer the book as a free ebook for anyone listening and anyone you know at this time. I would love to offer that free to all listeners. And my email is trinrose, TRYNROSE, @gmail.com. So however we can share the information out there, I would love to share that book. It's full of lots of these ideas that I'm mentioning and photographs to remind you and to remind you of your own photographs. There's one story in there that I was playing music at another care community on the weekend, and I found that there was a gentleman who came up to me afterwards and said, "You reminded me of my dad who played the trombone in the Army," and he pulled this picture out of his pocket. It was this beautiful shot of his father with his trombone, all dressed up in his uniform. And I just said, "Wow, I'm so glad. Thank you for telling me that story." And as I was leaving, one of the attendees said, "You know, he has that picture in his pocket all the time. And he tells that story 7 times a day. It's his anchor, it's his rock, it's the thing that brings him back to, I know what's going on and I feel good about my life. Mm-hmm. If you realize what a person with dementia goes through, they can feel very lost, confused, unsure of who they are and where their family is. For him to have that picture, whoever gave him that picture is a rock star. Do this for your family. Create that one picture that brings them back to themselves, to their happiest memories. That really influenced my work to see that happen for him.
That's
more stories.
That's a beautiful, beautiful story. Trin Rose, you were mentioning to me that many communities have resources for caregivers and for senior-related issues. What are some of your recommendations of the types of organizations to see if individuals have them in their communities?
Everybody has an area agency on aging. That's the other AAA. So you can always call and see in your areas. I'm not sure who is actively engaged out in the community at this time with the COVID-19 virus, but I know that the Alzheimer's Association has a 24/7 helpline that's always available. And so area agencies on aging, the Alzheimer's Association, and you may have other local agencies who can give you information on the telephone, as well as the most updated information of the resources in your areas.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Thank you, Trin Rose, for this discussion, for making yourself available to your Spartan community. And to the Spartans that are listening, I hope that you found something you can grab onto. We will share Trin Rose's contact information or social media, the link to her book. Please engage in the content. And if you find yourself at home and just maybe needing a little something, just remember your Spartan family. We are here for you. And if you benefit from this conversation and could let us know or let Trin Rose know, that would help us as well. Thank you, Trin Rose. Enjoy your beautiful flowers in Arizona. And to our Spartan Nation, we will continue to find ways to work together and move forward through our current reality.